And then one time I remember my parents were, very Catholic, and they would do these Bible readings. I was standing above the stairwell, and so I started dangling him down by his hands. This is my brother Sean, by the way. He was in his tidy whities.
So they just see feet?
No, they
see him.
They
see a butt with tiny wings, basically.
They saw a whole kid. And the best part was Sean got drunk. All right.
Whoa.
Welcome to Peacemaker, the official podcast with James Gunn. I happen to be James Gunn, and this is my podcast. Here I am joined every episode with my co-host, the beautiful Steve Agee and the wonderful Jennifer Holland.
Thank you. Hello.
And who are you?
I am the Steve Agee he spoke of, and I play John Economos.
This is just the 11th time we've done this,
Yeah.
and you're just now learning that you're supposed to say your character name.
John Economos.
And I am Jen Holland, and I play Emilia Harcourt.
Okay, everybody. So this is the official destination. You don't want to find out information from an unofficial destination because then you're a piece of shit. You want to go to the official destination to get information.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this will tell you everything about the HBO Max original series, Peacemaker. You can go behind the scenes. We're going to give you stories from the set. We're going to discuss music. We're going to answer fan questions and so much more.
And today, specifically, we are talking season 2, episode 2. It's entitled, A Man is Only as Good as His Bird. And it was directed by the great Greg Mottola, who I had so much fun working with, and we're going to talk about that. And today we are welcoming back Freddie Stroma, a.k.a. Vigilante, a.k.a. Adrian Chase, a.k.a. the coolest member of the 11th Street Kids.
The most popular member of the 11th Street Kids. I hate to tell you, he is.
I believe it. And, as always, there will be spoilers. So go to HBO Max if you have not seen the episode and watch it.
I do want to give a couple words to Greg Mottola. Okay, so we've had a lot of directors on the Peacemaker show, and there's no doubt that the best is Greg Mottola. I mean, he really was fantastic. He was a fantastic partner. He started out this season because I was shooting Superman. So we had to start with episodes 2 and 3, and I ended up shooting episodes 1, 6, and 8. Greg Mottola's sort of a hero of mine. Not only because he directed the great movie Superbad and Adventureland, but he directed a movie called Day Trippers, which I saw when I lived in New York as a young man, and it was a huge influence to me in so many ways. I love that movie. Greg is a gentleman and just a fantastic director, and I'm so grateful for him bringing episodes 2 and 3 to life.
I also just want to say, while we're talking about Greg, his episodes definitely have his flavor. They add a little bit of Greg Mottola to them, but he was just really able to take the tone of the show and carry that on, and he has such great sensibilities when it comes to both the drama and the comedy.
Yeah.
I really hope we get to do more of this, and I really hope we get to work with Greg again, because he was just great.
I feel like I should add one of the days off. Greg and I met in downtown Atlanta proper for some barbecue, and I got diarrhea.
Great.
Cool.
Always
Also,
bringing us
different sort of
back
testament to
home.
Greg.
So this episode is called "A Man Is Only as Good as His Bird," because I had chicken. So full circle.
Wow, great.
Life imitating art.
Great segue. We begin this episode. We see Economos showing Flag Sr. around the Argus office. Flag Sr. discovers that Peacemaker murdered his son. He's very upset about it. We know that Christopher Smith is in trouble.
It's just that day was complicated, and any actions taken were under the order of Waller, and most of us didn't even know.
Get me the fucking files, John.
Yes, sir.
You got to see, and by you, I mean Freddie Stroma, you got to see the opening dance number for the first time. And this time, you actually got to dance.
I got to be part of it, which is very fun. I mean, especially after that, like, the first season came out and everyone just went crazy for the dance, and having to, like,
not answer questions about it and like not be part of it was like kind of a bummer. So when we did it, for me, it was my last.
Because for those of you who are just tuning in with us now, Vigilante was originally played by a different actor, and that is who you see in the dance sequence of season 1.
Yeah. So then I got to, on the last day, it was my last day of filming, and I was sort of staying in the accent, and then the last day there was no dialogue. So I was like, I get to be English, I get to dance, I got to like meet other cast members I hardly got to like hang out with. It was just like the best time. We had so much fun, and it's fun seeing it as well.
I do think that you were one of the best dancers on the set, and that's not saying a
It's
lot.
not a high, it's not a high
because it's
bar.
really kind of Jen.
Yeah, Jen was.
And you. And Danielle's pretty good. And Steve, you're surprisingly good. You're a pretty good dancer.
I had diarrhea from barbecue the day before.
Before the
We're
dance
still
sequence?
talking about
Yeah,
it.
and
We're
I'm-
still talking.
This has got to be a different. Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Greg left a while.
That's a lot of diarrhea, but
6 months. 6 months later.
You need to get yourself checked
I was
out,
light on
my
my feet.
friend.
I will say, when I had to wear the mask for the dance, there's like one bit where we danced, and then we had to run off stage, but the wings were black. So I would just run, and I could hardly see anything in the mask. So by the time I got there, I just ran. It's weird running into darkness, knowing that there's an edge of a stage somewhere. You know, you should be safe, but every time I do it, I was just holding my hands out and just trying to not like...
we come into this episode, and we have Adebayo goes to Kia's apartment. We see Adebayo and Kia together. They ended season 1 very happy. They seem to be not so happy anymore. In fact, they're taking a break, according to Adebayo, according to Kia. They're kind of broken up. It's kind of a sad scene. I think both Elizabeth, who plays Kia, and Danielle are really great in the scene. We find out that Elizabeth is working at Jitter's Coffee, which is of interest to DC fans because Jitter's Coffee started in the comics in 2010 and then was in the, Grant Gustin, the great Grant Gustin, great guy, his TV show, The Flash, and then it's appeared throughout different media in the world of DC, including a little bit in the Superman movie. But we have that really nice moment that I like with Adebayo which I find so believable, where she's trying not to fight with Kia. They start to get into a fight, and Adebayo stops herself on the way out. She wants to be the better person. She leans her head against the doorway, and she says, I love you, to Kia. And Kia doesn't say anything back. And it's a sad moment. It's the same scene where Kia makes the very good point that your partner shouldn't tell you not to follow your dreams. Simultaneous to that, if your partner's dreams are destroying your world, it's not the most beneficial thing. So there's a balance here, and there's something off with their relationship. We're going to see a lot more of that as the season goes on.
And just a little Easter egg, the dogs are slightly different.
The dogs are slightly different because the dogs from season 1 are not canon. The dogs from season 2 are canon. They're slightly different, but I did miss the one little dwarf dog from the first season. She was she had dwarfism on the first season, and I kept trying to say, you could give me this dog, I'll take this dog, because she used to come and sit on my lap during all the takes. So we go to the drugstore. Now we see Harcourt recovering from her fight. She is incredibly rude to this woman in the drugstore.
She's really just trying to help.
Poor, sad woman that's trying to help a woman that she thinks is in need and is being beaten in a relationship. And of course, if anyone is abusive, it is Harcourt herself, not somebody else to Harcourt.
Yeah.
And you kind of go off on her.
Women deny what's happening.
I am not a fucking mirror.
What?
I have my own problems, okay?
There's a moment where you see a help wanted sign on the way out, and it shows you how desperate Harcourt is becoming with no money, no job.
Yeah, she's been out of a job for such a long time. This trained black ops professional killer looks at a help wanted sign in a convenience store and actually considers submitting a resume. That's how down and out she is right now.
Yeah, at a drugstore that will never hire her because she just screamed a bunch of their patrons out of nowhere, like a crazy woman.
You got a good view there, Beaker?
We go to the surveillance van with your character, Steve.
Yeah.
John Economos as someone enters the van.
I get a new partner. Well, not even a partner, a babysitter,
A
really.
babysitter. And his name is
Langston Fleury.
He's played by the great Tim
The
Meadows.
great Tim Meadows.
Somebody who I've known for a long time from
Legendary.
UCB and other things back in the day. And
Lucky to have him on the show. He was wonderful to work with.
he's a great guy. Now, I got to tell you, like, this was maybe the hardest role I've ever had to cast in my life.
Yeah.
And we looked at hundreds and hundreds of actors who auditioned for Langston Fleury, and I couldn't find anyone. And then finally, I'm like, Tim Meadows would probably be good. And we just had to offer him the role. He would have to do it because he wanted to do it in, like, the character. And so we didn't really see him act until this.
No.
Bordeaux thought you might need some backup. So what's your preferred form of greeting? Handshake, fist bump, hug? You a hugger, Economos?
No.
He came in, he just killed it. He's great. The weirdest part of the scene for me, when he's giving you a back rub.
The entire scene. The entire scene, his hand is on my shoulder. I don't know which is worse for John Economos, him touching me or calling me Ginger Cool.
Yeah.
Which is
a new nickname. You just lost Diebeard.
Probably gonna.
Now you got a new nickname. Ginger Cool.
Replace Diebeard.
And I think people are going to be calling you Ginger Cool a lot on the streets.
I'm a little better with that than Diebeard.
There's no doubt Ginger Cool is better than Diebeard.
Yeah.
But, and you didn't remember this, we had like literally 15 minutes, you know, while you were still doing Superman, you came by, you know, we got inside the van.
I do remember that. I wanted
Just to block it.
I wanted to rehearse the scene, talk about it with Tim because I hadn't seen him do the character. And I was
And you were at the very end just like, touch him like uncomfortably.
Yeah.
As a throwaway.
Yeah.
And he really ran with that in the van.
Doesn't he start
And it was
touching-
really...
He does it like just after he says like, yeah, I wanted to hit that. It's this kind of like, oh, sex.
He's talking about my friends.
And as soon as he does it, that's when he starts touching and you're like, oh, God.
Yeah. It was creepy in real life, too.
Didn't it look like it felt a little good?
No, I'm ticklish and I don't like that kind of stuff. And it was, and that was like hours. We were in there for hours doing that.
Hours of uncomfortable touching.
And there were parts which didn't make it into the cut where he's like taking my food and
I mean, that's the thing is the first thing he does is he comes in, he leans over you and eats
like my McNuggets.
Eats your chicken McNuggets. That wasn't the script. That part wasn't the script.
Yeah.
Tim Meadows is
the best.
He's so funny. We had one scene, it literally wasn't even, there was no, like, it was like part of a montage and you just had us say different things to each other.
Yeah, I really gave you, there's almost no dialogue in that scene.
He's asking me a bunch of questions and I just lost it every time. Every single thing, his delivery, like I just couldn't, I was like, I don't know if you guys are gonna get anything because I kept laughing every single time he asked me a question.
Got it.
So it was
funny.
Tough.
Yeah, it's
Like,
good.
It was really tough. But he asks me a bunch of questions in a later episode, and that was my one time working with him, and it was a lot of fun. But like I also thought I did a really bad job.
No, you were great.
You didn't. You were great, actually.
Yeah,
it's a great
believable.
scene. I love it.
So we go from there into Chris's house. The people from the orgy are waking up. You know, we know that from the beginning of the episode that Peacemaker has just killed his, what do you call him here? His doppelganger from another universe, his alternate self.
His alternate self.
He's all messed up. He talks with Adebayo. She tells him, listen, Rick Flegg Sr. is after you. And also they know there's some sort of dimensional discrepancy in your house. And if they find out what it is, you're going to get caught and you're going to go back to prison.
Let's all get together and do a big fucking dance routine. That's right. Right, just 40,000 people fucking dancing. Just about how fucking awesome you are at doing conversations.
At that point, you show up, Freddie.
With bone saws and cleaning gear.
Fleury sees Eagly for the first time, and his sole weakness comes up, according to him.
Bird blindness.
Bird blindness.
Naturally, the classic issue that one can have
is not knowing the difference between one bird and another. Now, I have a friend who has face blindness. Do you know anybody that has this?
Yeah. You don't recognize.
This is a pretty famous guy. He knows who I am because of my glasses and the fact that I have white hair that sticks up, so he can remember those markers, but he cannot remember a person's face. So he doesn't know. So sometimes he's kind of guessing who you are.
That's amazing.
And this is people he's seen forever. He just has face blindness. So I thought if this could be applied to people, why couldn't someone have it with birds?
I love it.
So he's got bird blindness.
I love it.
And literally, probably something that hasn't been a big issue in his career at a government agency.
No.
Until now.
No, bird blindness has never affected him.
Never.
No, never. I mean, maybe he looks goofy watching a documentary with his friends,
Yeah.
or, he goes and he sees, what's a show with a bird, fucking.
A show with a bird.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. Is he
biggest bird
blind?
of all.
Would he be blind? Would he not know the difference between Snuffleupagus and Big Bird?
It's fitting that we talk about Muppets at this time because we kind of passed over
Beaker being canon.
being canon.
Beaker's canon in the DCU.
Muppets are canon.
Muppets are canon. Well, she says it's a Muppet.
Yeah.
Vigilante says a lot of creepy stuff over 2 seasons. But this one is particularly, in my mind, the creepiest. You know which one I'm talking about?
Sex, and
To be quite honest, Adrian, you don't even seem that into sex.
not being into sex because it's sex, but you want to get closer to your friend.
Yeah. I'm not into sex because it's sex.
I'm into sex because, like a lot of people, it's an opportunity to bond with my best friend.
That's not like a lot of people.
I'm into sex because it's a way to bond with my best friend.
So
What does that fucking even mean?
So he's at an orgy just knowing he's not enjoying the sex, but he's just enjoying bonding.
He's enjoying that he's being
buddy.
closer to his friend, gets to see his semen. I don't know.
Oh, God.
He's excited about that.
It's weird when you get into what the details are of what that means.
By the way, do Peacemaker and Vigilante have sex?
I don't know. I don't know how the orgy, what the class system is.
For instance, there's a threesome in episode 2, season 1.
Yeah.
What kind of devil's triangle is this?
I kind of feel like
that's the word. That's the term for
I
2
could
men
see-
and a woman.
You would know.
I'd
You
see
would
Vigilante
know,
cheering.
I would know because I would always avoid a devil's triangle. You want to come over for a threesome? This is where it helps you. You want to come over for a threesome? Is it a devil's triangle? No. If the answer is yes.
What would the opposite of a devil's triangle be?
A good threesome.
A Jesus triangle.
I'm kidding, guys. I'm so confused about where we are, but I think we're inside
Burbank, California.
I think
we go into the quantum.
I think we're about to go into the quantum folding on chamber.
Love to me this me except better.
Dude, believe me, you don't want to meet yourself. It's chilling as fuck.
We're gonna have another great Foxy Shazam song, "Evil Thoughts." That's our 3rd in 2 episodes. Pretty crazy. And you're going to, you being Freddie Stroma, as Vigilante, are going to cut up Peacemaker's doppelganger and put it into an incinerator and burn it.
Yeah.
Your character's reaction to this?
This is fun. It's just like it's like a hike or a threesome or whatever else. It's bonding with my friend.
Well, and one thing we learned in season 1 is that Vigilante or Adrian Chase loves to clean up for his friend. He cleans up his trailer in the first season, and now he gets to clean up after him. He
loves to be of use to his 2 friends. I think really now. And as this season goes on, we learn he has another sort of man crush, which is John Economos.
John Economos.
Now he has 2 people that he just adores.
Fixated on.
Fixated on him. And he helps to cut up the body, at which point the monster comes out with which is one of my favorite lines, where he comes out with another little rat to throw away. And Peacemaker yells at him, and your response is,
"Who's that guy?
Who's that guy?"
Big smiles too.
Who's that guy?
Is this a new friend?
It's like, not what the fuck is an alien monster with a dead fucking monstrous vermin doing coming out of this room? It's
just, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
It's just some rude motherfucker who I say hi to every time and never says hi back.
We see, Fleury with this new group of badasses, Argus agents, watching over the house as Peacemaker leaves.
Leaves to go to a party.
And we also see Chris looking through Peacemaker 2's phone and seeing a bunch of pictures of, I guess, Harcourt 2 is who we would call her on there, which is actually pictures I took of you from various places. Like, a lot of those are actual photos from our real life.
Oh, not like
they're
new
not
photos.
They're not all
production
photos that you took. They,
there are. There's that one I took of you next to the fireplace in Vancouver.
They're not all
Not all of
pictures
them.
that
No,
you took.
there's some new ones. I didn't take pictures of you and John Cena because I'm not vigilant. I'm not vigilante, nor am I into a devil's threesome.
Some of them are also pictures I took, is what I'm saying. And that was my way of contributing to the budget of the show.
I was like, wow, they took you skiing? They did
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
this is great.
So we see Harcourt.
Who we called Harcourt 2 in the script.
Harcourt 2. We see a glimpse of her in a video for the first time. She wears a lot more makeup than regular Harcourt does. She's a little bit more put together.
She's a little happier.
Seems
Smiles
significantly happier. Smiles more, giggling.
Colorful.
Yeah,
literally, her
colorful.
clothes
Wearing something other than black.
Yeah.
Fleury is about to give these Argus agents their names because he thinks he can't remember them otherwise.
Yeah.
Fleury this season really takes up a lot of the immature, politically incorrect space that Peacemaker himself, he's grown a lot since last season. He's not as offensive.
Isn't a housewarming gift solely for people who just moved into a new home?
No, it's any gift that you give to someone in their house.
But Fleury kind of offenses
fills
him
a void,
by 2 times over. And he calls Vega...
Mexicali.
Yeah. He calls Tillerson Encino Man. He calls Angler, which is Anissa's character, titties. And he calls Brandon's character Pony Boy, which then gets, because he makes a stink about it, he gets demoted to Barely Legal and then gets demoted again to Cupid Doll. And I remember in the script it actually kept changing the name of his character. It changes him from Pony Boy to Cupid Doll or to Barely Legal to Cupid Doll. And he was basically, this becomes their names for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to Anissa, like, when we were near the end of the shooting, and I'm like, I am so sorry, but people are going to be coming up to you in diners and calling you titties, because I know I just have been through this a few times.
Yeah.
And she's like, I love it. She's like, I love it. So Agent Titties it is. Which he calls her even when she's at death's door. And he's trying to, Fleury is trying to convince her to stay alive. And he holds his hand to her neck as she's gushing blood. And he looks down at her. And with all seriousness, Tim tells her, Titties, please hold on. But yeah, they're great.
God damn it.
And they all come back throughout the season. Now, Ronaldo, we call him Ray, who plays Agent Vega. He's actually an actor I've worked with a lot. He was in The Suicide Squad, in Corto Maltese. He was one of the main gorillas, and he played the character of Behemoth in Guardians 3. So he's a guy I've always used who's, lives in Atlanta, and I just really love. So I wrote this role for him.
That's something you do a lot. I mean, you find people you love to work with and who you, respect and love their work, and you work with them over and over.
If I like somebody and they do a good job and they show up on time, then, I try to find a place for them, especially which is my town of Atlanta, and trying to bring people and give them work and make them a part of our community. It makes it more fun for all of us.
Yeah, like Terrence, who's done, gosh.
Yeah, Terrence Rosemore, who's been in everything I've done.
He's in Superman.
He's in Superman, a big role in Superman. He might be in other things too.
Yeah.
Plays Otis in Superman. So the only one we don't see, unfortunately, is Patrick Logan doesn't show up again, Tillerson, because in the second, we're about to have a big battle where Eagly takes on all of the Argus agents, and he pulls out Tillerson's eyeball. So I figured maybe I should write him into the next episode. He might need some recovery time, but Patrick did a great job, and he delivers one of my favorite lines, which is, I love to get lit.
Yeah, I love to get lit.
I love getting lit.
I love getting lit.
Man,
I love to get lit.
He's trying to fit in.
He's trying to fit in. He's so sad. Anyway, Eagly gets his own slow walk after he destroys everybody. Yeah. Do you know about this? Online, there are tons of videos of Harcourt and being fed up with Vigilante.
I got beer.
Don't be climbing up my fire escape, dude.
Where do you get this stuff from?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of fans have cut together like compilations of the interactions between Harcourt and Vigilante. It's
Super
so
cuts.
funny.
Yeah, super cuts of you doing something obnoxious, of Vigilante doing something totally obnoxious, and her just being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You fucking idiot."
That sounds about right.
Get out of here! What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What, is he supposed to be a talking bush? I don't even understand what he's trying to do.
No! You're not taking that in there!
Chihuahua?
Probably wouldn't fit.
Would be cool, though.
That wouldn't be cool at all. Why would that be cool?
You tell me.
There are a lot of moments like that throughout the 2 seasons.
I tried to convince the other directors on the second season that it was important to grab a couple of reaction shots of Harcourt reacting to whatever Vigilante was doing, but no one listened to me. But I really wanted them to.
This has a great moment with the two of you where the 11th Street Kids are reunited for the first time. This is one of my favorite moments in this episode, and I think it's a lot of fun for us to see all of them together again. But you decide.
It was our first day of shooting.
It was our first day of shooting.
Season.
Yeah. It was just so happy being with everybody again. I've talked about it many times, but, one of the reasons, the main reason I probably do this podcast, even though I'm, busy, is because I believe in the show and I love the people that are involved in it. You guys, Danielle, John, it's the greatest group of people. And so I'm the show's #1 fan.
I'm just remembering the scenes as I'm listening to the soundtrack, and it just hit me how, just fully you this show is. It just seems like the most you thing that you've ever done, because I know you so well, and you're just such a multifaceted person. You're so crass, and you're so funny, and you're so, unique and odd and weird, but you're also one of the most empathetic and emotional people that I know, and deep thinking and all of the things, and it's all in this show so much. It just shows through that you love it.
8 hours to work out a season instead of 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
with a movie.
Well, that's one of the things I love about it. I mean, plot is, I've said it before, plot is the master of a movie. Every moment has to lead to the next, no matter what. But plot's important to TV, but the most important thing is characters. People fall in love with the characters. And I think that's what the 11th Street Kids are. They're all characters that we care about what's happening to them. We are enthralled by their relationships with each other. I think one of the scenes that's so indicative of that is a scene with you, Steve, as Economos on the roof with Adebayo, when you're both drunk. And these two people that haven't seen each other for a long time, who just obviously love each other unconditionally, and that sad moment where Economos, she says, "What are you going to do? Live your whole life scared?" And Economos says, without any sort of drama, "Yeah, I've lived with crippling anxiety my entire life. I don't think anything about that is going to change now." And then she comes and she, loves you. And it's that moment, that whole scene is so
great
real.
to just shoot on a first day of shooting, because we hadn't seen each other in 2 years, 3 years.
That was a great first day. We
Yeah, so fun.
We all got
really
to
was.
improv and just dance around like idiots. And we hadn't seen each other and all been together doing Peacemaker.
All the dancing. You did the famous butt dance.
I did the butt dance.
You did your famous butt dance.
I love that was in the script, and I was like, there's no way getting around this. That is butt dance is in.
Did it say that? Did it say he does his famous butt dance? I think he does.
Yeah.
I think it does. And that whole scene is such joy from these characters who, episode 1, we didn't see them together. We see them all together, and they obviously just love each other to death.
Yep.
And then we get to see the scene between Harcourt and Christopher Smith as they look out over the city of Evergreen. By the way, that was all on a soundstage, that roof. So that's all fake backdrops. They did a really good job. They look out and we see Peacemaker questioning Harcourt about her wound above her eye.
Yeah, and he's telling her, I see a pattern in you. I see that you're going into bars. You did this maybe the first time we met in that bar in season 1. If someone was looking for a fight, seems like a good place to find one.
Right.
She's sort of like metaphorically stripped naked in that moment. She's so vulnerable because he sees her. She thinks that she's fooling everyone. She's a cutter, you know, that's what she does. And someone's seen her arms, you know, and she's so embarrassed and she feels so vulnerable that she uses that opportunity to turn it back around on him.
Yeah.
And to tear him down.
Yeah, and she instantly says, that would be fucking stupid, which is like a sad enough statement by itself because she knows that it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? Because you're looking for a broken bird because water seeks its own level and all that. And I think that scene, for me, is incredibly important for the relationship of Harcourt and Peacemaker. And I don't think it's a spoiler to say that that's the most important relationship this season. And we see this character, this clownish guy who was such a mess, and this kind of cool chick from the first season are not so different. And he might not be the more fucked up one. She might be. And I think that what you do so well in that scene is you're portraying this character with this depth, which allows us not to hate her. And I'm not saying you're doing it in that way so that you'll be liked. But what she's saying is pretty mean. And Harcourt's pretty mean. She's pretty mean in the first season. But there's also all these moments where she treats Adebayo kindly, or she treats Vigilante. There's all these little moments that allow us to like her. But she's so broken down and backed into a corner that she really isn't treating anybody nicely in this, you know, second episode especially. And she just kind of goes on the attack. But I think that we can all see how much she's hurting, that that we allow her that. I think.
Yeah.
And then she walks off. And then for some fucking reason.
The party's just gone to another level.
Right. Well, they've been away having a very personal conversation. The two drunks in the corner have convinced Vigilante to strip down to his tighty-whities so that he would dance in a moronic circle while they pour beer on him.
They're having a conversation. We're living in a montage.
How did you explain that to yourself while you were doing that?
Oh man, I don't know. I just at first I think we had sort of scripted he's doing like a war cry, like as he's doing it. But at that point, I think Vigilante's just so happy to have friends. He'll do anything.
Yeah.
He doesn't really care.
It reminds me of like so I come from 6 kids in my family, and my youngest brother was always so eager to please. And we would do the craziest things. Like we'd put him in a box full of blocks.
Blocks?
Like a cardboard box full of blocks, those little
Like building
colored blocks, building
Oh,
blocks.
yeah. Wow.
And then we'd roll them around.
Torture.
And he'd giggle and scream at the same time. But he was willing to do it because he wanted us to like him.
This is like Augie laughing at the torture.
Well, I know, but he was laughing too. And then one time I remember my parents were, very Catholic, and they would do these Bible readings on like Tuesday nights, and their friends from church would come over and they would read the Bible and talk about the passages. And this is my brother Sean, by the way, who's in episode 1, and he was in his tighty-whities, and for some reason, I decided I was standing above the stairwell, and so I started dangling him down by his hands.
So they just see feet?
No, they
see him.
You see a butt with tiny wings, basically.
They saw a whole kid swinging back and forth in front of them, staring, smiling. his little kid and his tiny whities, like, as they're reading Bible passages, and, like, they're looking up, and all of a sudden one looks up, and I just remember her going, oh, look at that. and the best part was Sean got in trouble.
Sean got in trouble?
Yeah, Sean got in trouble, not me.
Oh, my God.
I put him up to it.
There are so many great stories
This show
like
makes
this.
so much sense now.
Yeah.
So the end of the episode ends with Peacemaker sits down on the end of his bed. He takes out Peacemaker 2's phone. He goes into it. He looks up Harcourt again. He sees her number. He tries to text her. Of course, it's in a different dimension. Our plans do not work interdimensionally.
No.
So he walks off and goes through and goes back to the other dimension, which is, of course, a bad idea. I think.
But he
I
needs
think
cell
it's a bad
signal.
idea.
He's got to get a cell
He's
signal.
got to get his, but it's a bad idea because he just killed himself. He goes in there, he hears his father, his other alternate version father who's loves his son, very worried that his son has disappeared. The phone dings. He opens it up. He sees Emilia Harcourt says, hey, back. And then the dots come up, and then they disappear, and then they come back again, and then a broken heart emoji comes up there. So we see that something has occurred between Harcourt 2 and Peacemaker 2. And now with Peacemaker 2 gone, what is Peacemaker 1 going to do with this information?
The way I interpret the end of this episode is that he sits down with the phone.
Yeah.
And the last shot is like over his shoulder, sitting down in what we call the trophy room, which I think the other dimension called
They
the
call it the
library.
library, yeah.
And he's sitting there looking at this broken heart from Harcourt 2, and it makes you feel like, has he settled into this other dimension? He's like sat down here.
Yeah, he's not
you know?
walking out. Yeah. So that's where we're going to come back to on episode 3, which is, I got to say, an amazing episode that I can't wait for people to see.
I love it.
Tons of action, tons of fun, and tons of Earth 2.
And now, Peace Thoughts. Welcome back to another edition of Peace Thoughts, where I share my unfiltered thoughts on moments throughout the series. The 11th Street Kids rooftop party was the first scene we shot in season 2, and it was a reminder of how much we all enjoy each other, genuinely. You know you got like your favorite song when it comes back on and you still like it after not hearing it for a while? That was what it was like. No one too cool for school. That's what I fucking love about our group, man. Like, everybody is doing very well, but this is important to us. It was like a hang. We could all be people. Good way to start. And that James is smart with scheduling. That's Lars, too. Lars, you son of a bitch. Who played drunk the best? I want to say Freddie as a physical drunk and Danielle and Steve as drunk. Like, their scene together where they're both drunk. Man, they must have been ripping me beer zeros and giving them like the real shit, because they look drunk. There's the very kudos to them. I would be the worst. But then again, I got 2 hollow legs. But so does Agee. Whatever. It's all right. Formalities. That's it for this episode's Peace Thoughts. Back to you, James, Jen, and Steve. We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
That song that plays there at the end is We Don't Need a Cure by Hardcore Superstar. They're one of the primary Peacemaker bands, along with Foxy Shazam and Hanoi Rocks and Cruel Intentions and Steel Panther. But I don't know. What's the song Spotlight? I don't know. I mean, obviously, Repercussions by Cruel Intentions is great. But I got to give it to Dirty Money by Ida Marie. Like that, Maria, that song is great. That's the song.
It starts when Eagly's doing a slow walk.
Yeah, I didn't even know this till now. She's another
Norwegian, yeah.
And I didn't even know that when I chose the song. I didn't know it till
There's
right
a
now.
pattern.
I keep
There's the
picking them.
algorithm.
I keep picking them. Yeah, that song's fantastic. It's a song that Eagly slow walks to, that the 11th Street Kids dance to. It's also featured on the Peacemaker Season 2 LP that's coming out and probably out as you see
By
this.
now, yeah. Eagly airmail?
Let's do it.
Let's do some fan questions. The first one is from @theboywonder on Instagram. Will Vigilante ever get to chainsaw murder someone?
I mean, I don't know.
What a sad question.
Yeah, he never
really wanted to.
You took it from
season.
me. Economos took it from me.
Yeah, you did. You took it from him.
And I wear it like a badge of pride. All right. From @7wildstorms on X. Not a question, but please never kill off Vigilante. This is serious. I feel like a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah, I get a lot of don't kill Vigilante.
Why do they keep thinking I'm going to die?
Because
you're so moral.
that happens in your if you're in a James Gunn show, you get lots of stuff about not because I've killed a lot of people. You know,
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
I killed a lot of suicides.
People that you love the most.
At some point, it's the
you always have to stay in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, you got to stay in the pack. Don't get to the edges.
You don't want to be loved. You want to be like just another person on the show because if people love you, Jane's probably going to kill you.
Once I killed the rabbit in Guardians 3, all bets were off. Anybody could go. Anybody could go. Once Floor went, the sweetest little rabbit. Yeah, I'll get a lot of please don't kill Eagly. Like people are constantly thinking I'm going to kill Eagly, which is going to make them so sad. And next episode when we
I would say he likes to murder more like his family members in TV shows and
killed
his
Lila.
good friends and things like that.
I killed Lila. I'll kill anybody.
Well, you're right.
And this is from the DC Discord from Kate B.
Hey James Gunn, this is Kate from Los Angeles. Longtime fan, first-time caller. My question for you is, when writing characters that have a lot of comics history and legacy, do you ever pull inspiration from people you know in your personal life? Characters like Vigilante have so much personality throughout season 1, and it just seems like they have some real-life vibes to them. Anyways, thanks for doing this.
Well, there's no doubt that different characters that are from the comics, I pull aspects of other people. I think that Vigilante is a unique sort, and he's different than he is in the comics, where he was kind of a cool guy. But for me, anybody that names himself Vigilante has got a little something weird to begin with. And so I kind of just went with that. Sometimes it's one of the freedoms of choosing characters that are less well known. Emilia Harcourt, hardly anyone knew at all.
And didn't have this same character in the Suicide Squad.
She didn't. She didn't. Yes.
In the show.
Yeah, I think that a lot of that came from aspects of Jen's personality. Probably aspects of my sister's personality.
One thing, I notice across a lot of your projects is that you really do write strong, complicated women.
Yeah.
Which, it gets better and better in the industry, I think, as we sort of evolve and our content evolves, but you don't always get to play as a female. You don't always get to play very three-dimensional, complicated characters.
Yeah.
Either women are like really, really mean and terrible, or they're really, really nice and sweet and lovely.
Yeah.
You add a lot of dimension to a lot of your characters.
I think they're all people, you know. There are differences between the sexes, obviously, but there's also, most things are not different. We're way more alike than we are different. And so I think that when I came into town, especially in movies, like the female characters were always they were perfect for the most part, or they were bad guys. And then as time went on, all of a sudden the quote unquote female badass started to occur. But I also fucking didn't necessarily like that, because they weren't badasses like Star-Lord's a badass, or, Deadpool. They didn't have personalities. They were still like perfect badasses. Yeah. There are whole movies like that,
Flaws.
And so being able to allow flaws in those characters, to me, was the coolest thing that you could do. But it also just kind of comes naturally. I don't feel like a man. It's a weird thing to say. I don't feel like a man or a woman when I'm writing. I'm just a person, and I'm writing characters, and I'm become each of those characters as I'm writing them. I'm living inside of them, whether they're good guys or bad guys, or men or women or eagles or humans. Like I'm with them, So it doesn't really matter. We do have one moment coming up in the season with Vigilante that, when I'm writing, I'm just kind of flowing with what the story is. So there's a moment where he took me by surprise, because I do generally think that all the characters are changing and evolving except Adrian.
Yeah.
That he's just he doesn't really have the ability. I think of this, like he doesn't really have the ability to change. Like he's a sweetest sociopath you've ever met, you know? And he can only be kept under control by having some friends who are able to stop him from doing really bad shit. But everybody else kind of changes. I mean, I think Harcourt has changed from last season to this season. Economos has definitely changed from last season to this season. You know, Peacemaker really has changed. They've all changed. Except for I didn't think of Vigilante as changing. But there's one moment that took me by surprise, and I even wrote at the script that, you know, maybe I don't know anything, and maybe even Vigilante is capable of change, and I just didn't know it because I think he does change over the course of the season, and people will see a little tiny shift in him
slow
that is different from
it's just a little crack.
Yeah, a little crack.
Yeah.
All right, 2 more. At Director5 on Threads wrote, how does Vigilante know how to fight?
How does he know how to fight?
Yeah, was he trained or is he just...
It's funny, I was having a conversation with Stunts, and there was one of them was talking about how they liked about Vigilante is that, like, he is the kind of guy who probably does sit and work with a knife over and over again, like obsessively, and that's why he's so good. He's the kind of person, like, you'd see people who are like that, who are just kind of a little bit cuckoo, and they're just doing that over and over again, but that they also become really proficient at that. And he's probably that kind of guy. So he might not look like, you know, with the glasses and the rest of it, be like, oh, that guy probably could throw that knife across the room.
In the way that, like, someone can sit with a Rubik's Cube and become like a Rubik's Cube champion because they can just do it, like, with their eyes closed, basically, or whatever. I imagine that's kind of what he is.
Repetition is the secret to success, and I'm sure he's able to do repetition.
Yeah. It's probably all because if he's not hanging out with Peacemaker, that's all he really wants to do. Now Economos as well, but
All right, and finally, from @Spectre Chase on X, y'all have brightened up my time at home suffering with mental health issues with this amazing show, so thank you. My question is, going forward, what was Freddie's favorite scene to film and or favorite part of playing Vig?
This season, I mean, stuff with Taylor, with my mum. I mean, I just had such a whale of a time.
Yes.
We can't talk about episodes past here, can we?
Yeah, I think we can say it. You know, stuff with your mom, Taylor, and...
Because Taylor was just so good, and she was bouncing up, and she had so much talent and so much humor coming out of her, and it was just, we had such fun doing those scenes. That was just crazy, crazy fun.
Great.
And, you know, just want to shout out to @Spectre Chase and just say, I'm sorry that you're dealing with the mental health issues that you're dealing with. And I'm so grateful that we're making something that can bring that type of, like, relief to someone, to anyone out there. It's really special.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the 11th Street kids are. They're all people that are struggling with pretty deep and intense trauma, all of them, all 5 of them, and struggling through and making it from day to day and becoming better people as time goes on. And I think it's one of the reasons why we like watching them so much and joining them on this journey. They also happen to be weapons of destruction, each of them. Even Economos in his own way.
Sometimes, yeah.
He always comes through.
Yeah.
Stand-ins are often misunderstood what a stand-in does, but what a stand-in simply does is a stand-in comes in while the actors are getting ready, and we use the stand-ins mostly for lighting, sometimes for blocking, to move around and make sure the lighting works with all of that. To practice camera moves, we do that a lot because my camera moves a lot on set, as you see. And so we're able to practice all of that, although I also have a lot of freedom and let the actors kind of move the way they move. If your stand-in is bad, it's a pain. If they're good, it's a joy.
It's a joy, and it's really helpful.
Because they are a part of the filmmaking team, and they're able to explain to the actors when they come in, they become a partner to each of the actors. you know, you stand here and the light's there, you do this, then you're going to walk over here, and they help. And so we're always really appreciative of our great stand-ins.
Yeah, on this particular show, there's a lot of blocking. James likes to keep the show moving at all times. You're always like, you're just moving around a lot, you know? And Aaron, my stand-in, would watch me block the scene and go
Memorize
through,
it.
you know, watch what I was doing and then do exactly what I did. It's so incredibly helpful to me as an actor. It means that the lighting's going to be where it needs to be, and you know, and the camera's going to know what they need to do. And she was a joy to have around. They were all wonderful. All of our stand-ins on this season.
It's also weird coming onto the set after it's been lit and seeing like 5 versions of yourself that are similarly dressed, but not quite.
Yeah.
Like at least the same color clothes. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
It's like going into the quantum unfolding chamber.
Especially because your characters have all become sort of weirdly iconic in their own ways. I do think that, you know, one of the things that is undervalued with a director is the blocking. And directors today, normally, they talk about the camera angles, they talk about the lighting, they talk about the action sequences, they talk about the acting. And most movies and TV shows I watch, it's 2 people standing there staring at each other. And it drives me batshit crazy to go see, you know, a $300 million movie where it's a bunch of close-ups of people just standing there, because we don't do that in real life. We walk, we move, we talk, and it makes things so much more interesting. So for any young directors out there, I think that's really something to focus on, is how do your actors and your cameras move together? How can you make the scene more interesting with the blocking? You know, theater directors think like this all the time, but movie directors just forget about it. And I just saw a really big budget movie in which I kind of grossed me out, because they do all these long talking scenes with people just standing there for like 10 minutes at a time with exposition. It's just one close up after the next. And it's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
We don't just fucking, I mean, we don't sit still when we're
I know.
doing this stuff.
I say it for
It's like, God, my legs hurt.
anyway.
Once again, Freddie, thank you so much for joining us.
For coming back for this season,
Again, for this season.
This season of the podcast.
But really, it's so good to see you. I love hanging out with you. We're so lucky to have you on this show. We're so lucky to have you on the podcast. Next week, join us after watching Season 2, Episode 3 on HBO Max. We will have a special guest joining us to talk about that episode. Stream new episodes of Peacemaker on HBO Max, and you can find this podcast on HBO Max, the HBO Max YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to check out new DC Studios Showcase episodes. Frankie, Tyler, and Coy will also be unpacking episodes of Peacemaker Season 2. This has been a DC Studios Showcase presentation.
Bam.
Bam. Peace.
Peace out, motherfuckers. Peace out. This was an OBB sound production for HBO Max and DC Studios, hosted by James Gunn, with co-host Jennifer Holland and me, Steve Agee. Executive producers for DC Studios are Phil Soponides and Gary Barbosa. Executive producer for HBO Max is Becky Rowe. Executive producers for OBB are Michael D. Ratner, Scott Ratner, and Toby Lawless. Special thanks to, from DC, Mike Pilata and Victor Diaz. And from HBO Max Design, Tom Haskard, Martha Duarte Diaz, Ryan Cronin, Brett Krause, and John Northway. Producer, Toby Lawless. Producer for HBO Max is Aaron Kelly. Research producer, Jesse Holland. Associate producer, Tessa Bartholomew. Associate producer, Chris Stith. Production manager, Kevin Lynn. Studio coordinator, Elijah Matias. Director of photography, Heath Gresham. First assistant camera and camera operator, Chris Piper. Gaffer, Arthur Garcia. Key grip, Jake Reeder. Sound mixer, Josh Falcon. Sound mixer, Darren Bowling. Post-production supervisor, Mariana Cristostomo. Lead editor, Jesse Holland. Editor, Louis Sinibaldi. Assistant editor, Mark Alcacid. Hair and makeup artist, Kendall Shannon. Director of Creative Development and Social Strategy, Lenore Castro. Senior Coordinator, Creative Development and Social Strategy, Sharif Bakari. Production Assistant, Antonio Cavallo.
That's so cool.
You almost just murdered one of the cameramen.
That's all right.
What if we looked across and there was that note card just sticking out of someone's throat with
What almost
blood
happened?
gushing out?
Check, please.
He threw a note card.
Ew.
That's cool, Steve.
Life imitating art.